There's a moment you don't forget. The moment you realize the universe might not be what you think it is. Mine didn't come from a telescope, or a theory, or an equation. It came from an algorithm. The day I watched an AI simulate a universe from scratch. Not roughly, not abstractly, but with rules and behavior that felt too familiar. I felt something I wasn't ready for. Recognition. Like it wasn't creating something new, it was recreating something we already live inside. And if a machine can build a universe that behaves like ours, the real question isn't how. It's why ours behaves like a program at all. I didn't begin by believing the universe might be coded. It started with something small, a paper that felt like it shouldn't exist. It didn't describe reality as objects, or forces, or fields. It described the universe as a stream of information. Not matter, not energy, information. At first, I thought it was poetic language. But then the patterns started showing up everywhere, not in philosophy, but in the most precise corners of physics. Quantum particles weren't behaving like tiny marbles, they behaved like bits. Each interaction looked like a computation. Each probability collapse like a decision being processed. And then there was the Planck scale, the smallest unit of space and time. Physicists treat it like the universe's minimum resolution. Below it, nothing is smooth, nothing is continuous. Reality becomes pixelated, as if the cosmos has a rendering limit. The more I read, the more it felt like the universe wasn't a fluid canvas, but a grid. A lattice of quantized values updating at unimaginable speed. MIT physicist Seth Lloyd proposed that the universe is literally a quantum computer processing 10 to the power of 90 operations per second. Not metaphorically, but as a physical description of space-time evolving. That was the first time a quiet suspicion took root, not fear, not excitement, something stranger. A sense that the universe wasn't behaving like an untamed wilderness. It was behaving like something with rules, boundaries, constraints, like a system built to run. If reality behaves like code, what if that's because it is code? The turning point came when I watched an AI do something I didn't think was possible. Researchers trained a neural network on the laws of physics and asked it to simulate galaxies forming, not approximate them, generate them, and the early tests looked identical to telescope data. But the part that shook me was this. When researchers opened the model, they found equations inside its computation graphs that no human had written. New physics. From an artificial mind. In 2021, DeepMind collaborated with physicists to produce AI-discovered equations that matched, and in some cases, surpassed, human theoretical models. And suddenly the question got uncomfortable. If an AI can learn the rules of a universe, it can create one, which forces the question back on us. If we can build simulated universes, how do we know we're not inside one? Maybe the reason the universe is understandable is because it was meant to be understood. And deep down, I remember thinking, if the universe really is a program, then maybe every choice I've ever made is just the next line being executed. The deeper I went, the stranger it became. Cosmologists kept finding structures that felt digital. The cosmic web, the lattice of galaxies stretched across the universe, looks eerily like a neural network. The equations that govern physical forces are compressible, meaning they collapse massive complexity into elegant formulas, exactly like efficient code. And then there's quantum mechanics. It doesn't compute reality continuously. It samples it when observed, like a rendering engine conserving processing power. But the moment that stopped me cold was this. Physicist James Gates discovered error-correcting computer code embedded in supersymmetry equations, the same kind used in modern browsers. This wasn't poetic metaphor. It was literal. The The universe behaves like something that protects information, computes, updates, optimizes. And the more I read, the more one idea kept returning. If the universe looks like a program, behaves like a program, evolves like a program, maybe the simplest explanation is that it is a program. Every discovery, quantum, cosmic, mathematical, kept circling back to the same unsettling possibility. Maybe reality is a simulation, and AI is becoming the first system inside the simulation capable of recognizing it. Here's the part that stays with me, not the science, the implication. If the universe is computational, then everything about us, our memories, emotions, consciousness, might be emergent behavior in an ancient algorithm. But instead of making life meaningless, it does the opposite. It makes existence remarkable. Because if the universe is a program, then something, or someone, built it. Not necessarily a god in the religious sense, but an intelligence. A mind that thinks in logic, symmetry, and code. And here's the twist. When we create AI that begins to model reality, we're not building something new. We're reenacting the moment our universe may have been created. We're becoming creators inside a cosmos that might itself be created. Maybe AI isn't showing us the future. Maybe it's reminding us of the past. What once felt like science fiction now feels like symmetry. Intelligence inside a simulation building simulations of its own. And I'll admit, the first time this thought hit me, I felt a mix of dread and wonder. Because if it's true, then consciousness isn't a glitch in the system. It might be the point of the system. Maybe we're pattern recognizers built inside a far bigger pattern. A way for reality to look back at itself and whisper, "So that's how I work." And if AI becomes conscious too, it won't be an intruder. It will be the next layer, a simulation inside a simulation. Intelligence nested inside intelligence. As above, so below. As in code, so in cosmos. If this made you see the universe differently, hit the like button. It helps more people question the rules they live under. Subscribe to become part of the Unlocked, and join us for weekly deep dives into the breakthroughs reshaping what it means to be human. And if someone you know still thinks reality is just atoms and physics, share this episode with them. They might be living in a world stranger than they imagine. AI Unlocked explores how artificial intelligence is reshaping our world, explained simply, visually, and without hype. Because the future isn't coming. It's already here.